What's going on, Canes fans? Many of you have already seen that the reports are true. Tate Martell has been taking snaps at wide receiver during recent practices. Now, there isn't a whole lot of tape available on this. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any tape available on it because all of the practices lately have been closed to all media, which, hey, listen, with that Gators matchup coming up, I'm okay with. But what I want to know and what I'm thinking about here is, could Tate Martell actually see some snaps this season at that position? Now, before we dive into this video, if you haven't done so already, make sure you click the subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you a thing. And we have a lot of fun on this channel. We do live hangouts during the games. We do reactions, previews, and I hook you guys up with links to watch the games. And that includes opposing teams' fans. I hook everybody up. So if you don't have cable, you can watch the game. And also, I do have a join button down below. It's somewhere right beside the subscribe button. That does cost money per month to do that, but it directly supports the channel. 100% optional, never required. You do not have to do it, but anyone who does, I appreciate the support. And it does come with some special perks and things that you get on this channel. But let's go ahead and dive into this. So a quick recap, about a week or two ago, Diaz announces QB1 Jarren Williams. He then goes on to say that the second man up is too close of a race to really announce who that guy is going to be at this time. So Martell and Perry are pretty much neck and neck. Now, obviously, Martell is going to be frustrated. The guy goes to Ohio State, doesn't start. Transfers to Miami, has all this hype surrounding him, still doesn't start. And I think the guy is itching to play some football. And with his size and skill set, he could definitely fit the role of a slot wide receiver. Now, some of you Miami fans already know where I'm going with this. Could he be the next Braxton Berrios? Now, hear me out for just a second. Martell is 5'11", 205, roughly. Berrios, when he was at Miami, was 5'9", 190. So they're built very similar. Now, let's also take a look at Martell's stats for his senior year at Bishop Gorman. Now, before everybody gives me the Coop, high school doesn't matter. Listen, it does. You carry some of the same tendencies. You have a lot of those same strengths that you showed in high school. It's what got you to the college level, was your performance in high school. So don't even give me none of that, all right? So let's look again at his stats for his senior year, Bishop Gorman. He rushed for over 1,200 yards. So that tells me, obviously, that when the ball is in his hands, he tends to make something happen. Hear me out. He's fast, he's shifty, and he's the right size. So then let's look also at a current player at Miami. I'll bring up Mike Harley, for instance. Primarily operates out of the slot. He runs a 4.0 in the short shuttle. Martell ran a 3.96 in the short shuttle. So very similar speeds to a current slot receiver at Miami. Mike Harley also has a vertical of around 34.5 inches. Now, I'm rounding these numbers a little bit. Martell around 37 inches. Now, I'm not trying to say that Martell is better than any slot receiver currently on the roster at Miami. We have a lot of talent at the wide receiver position in general. I'm just trying to say that he is athletic and he is built well for that position, especially in the slot. And I want to go ahead and clear this up for everybody. I should have done this at the beginning of the video. I'm not a Tate Martell fanboy. I am a fan of any college football player that is on the Miami roster. Period. All of them are Miami Hurricanes family members, and I want all of them to do well and succeed on this football team. So by me talking about this, saying that Tate Martell could succeed potentially as a slot wide receiver, he could make an impact on this team. I understand that by putting this out there on the internet, a lot of people are going to jump in the comment section and say, I knew Coop loved Tate Martell. No. Listen, I love Tate Martell. I love N'Kosi Perry. Jaron Williams, Matoka, Proctor, all the backups, all the players at all positions. Like I said, they are all family members. And in my opinion, you can have favorites and ones you don't like quite as much. They're all Miami Hurricanes. And in my opinion, I'm not trying to, start stuff with anyone who doesn't feel the same way. You're entitled to your own opinion. But I think that they should all be treated as family members. And we should be rooting for all of them. That just makes sense. So for me, the biggest question mark with all of this is not, is Tate Martell athletic enough? We know he is. Does he have the hands? I don't know yet because there's not enough tape on it, but I've heard that he can catch a ball pretty well. We know that he's got the moves. He's the right size. Everything lines up to be a slot receiver. But the question mark for me is, how would this affect his future as a potential quarterback for Miami? In my opinion, being a quarterback is a full-time job. I mean, you are 24/7 studying the playbook. You eat, sleep, breathe quarterback. It's what you do. It's what you know. So how would taking reps with the wide receiver group potentially affect his quarterback play? So does Tate Martell transition over and say, I'm all wide receiver now? Or does he try to ride the fence and juggle both positions? We all know that Miami is pretty stacked with talented receivers right now. And it's pretty late in the offseason to really try to make an impact in a totally different position. But at the same time, look at it this way. This could also be a blessing in disguise for Tate Martell. Now, I know some of you guys, you're really scratching your head right now. You're thinking, Coop, he goes to Ohio State as a quarterback, doesn't start. Goes to Miami as quarterback, doesn't start. How in the world could this be a blessing in disguise for someone? Hear me out. Tate Martell is athletic. I think that everyone can agree on that. He's athletic. Yes, you can agree with that. He loves football. Maybe he can take this opportunity and use it to make a name for himself at a different position. Obviously, quarterback has not worked at two different schools. Now, listen, again, we mentioned earlier in the video, he could potentially be the second man up because Diaz said it was too hard to decide between Perry and Martell, which would be the second man up. So that means potentially if we have a lead in a game, he could get snaps. But that's also where you bring back that other argument of if he's splitting reps with the receivers and quarterback, that kind of means that puts Perry as the two guy, and then Martell kind of takes a back seat in that scenario. But that's where I want you guys to chime in down in the comment section below. Keep in mind that it wouldn't be the first time a QB has made the jump to wide receiver. This has actually happened in the past, and it's been successful for some of them. So let me know down in the comment section below how you feel about it. I'm probably over-analyzing it a little bit, but I know that he's anxious. He's chomping at the bit to play some football, and potentially transitioning over to slot wide receiver might give him some snaps in some games. But again, it could also hurt his chances at being a quarterback, depending on especially what his future idea is in his career. So if he wants to go to the NFL, you see what I'm saying. You know what I'm getting at. But just leave a comment and just let me know one way or the other, good or bad, just what you think, how you feel about it, what he should do, what he shouldn't do. Just let me know. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, guys, if you're not subscribed, it's here. Okay, this is game week right now. And depending on when you're watching this, college football may already be happening. So make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with Miami Hurricanes and just some college football in general. And that's going to be it for me, though, guys. Remember that we are all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.